in the house? Do we have George Gresham and 1199 in the house? You see that big RV behind me back there? It's supposed to be painted red and blue and white. It came out red and it came out pink, but that's all right. George and I have been in that RV, driving all over the state for weeks, bringing this message to people all across the state. And I feel the energy growing, and I feel the momentum growing, and we're going to get a $15 minimum wage passed. Now, this is going on in a bigger context, right? This is not just about Albany now. You turn on the TV and you see it's 24-hour politics all day long. And you turn on the TV, you see that little countdown clock, you're 20 minutes from one debate and you're 15 minutes from the next debate. And all this politics is getting ugly. And the talking heads say, well, you know what? People are angry, and that's what the politicians are feeling. They're feeling the people's anger. And the politicians are trying to determine how to use the anger. People are angry. And you know what? People should be angry. Why? Because the working men and the working women of this state and this country have been going backwards for decades, my friends. That's why. Because if you are middle class, if you're a working family, you don't feel like you're getting ahead. You don't see a brighter future. You don't feel the mobility. The bills keep getting bigger and the paycheck keeps getting smaller. And you don't know how you're going to make it. So yes, people are angry. But the question becomes, what do you do with that anger? And some politicians want to use that anger, they want to use that fear for political purposes, and they take that fear and they take that anger and they create a target for that anger. And they say, I'll tell you what the problems are. The problem is caused by people who are different. That's what they say. You know, people who are different? People who have different skin colors, people who have different languages, people who come from different countries. They make that the problem. They're trying to make diversity and immigration the problem. And then their solution is very simple. We make a long list of all the people who are different, all the immigrants, and then we go out and we collect them all off the list and we kick them out of the country. And then what we do is we build a big wall so they can't come back. We don't, and what they say is, we don't just build a big wall, we build a really, really big wall. I mean, we build a wall that makes the wall of China look like a small wall. And we build a wide wall and a tall wall and a beautiful wall. We put a little gold trim at the top of the wall just to have a nice looking wall. But that's what they're trying to say. They're trying to say, demonize the differences, demonize the diversity, demonize immigrants. And if we fix that problem and kick them out, then everything will be solved. They want to take that energy and use it politically. We say the exact opposite. We say, don't try to turn us one against the other. Don't try to take that energy and make it negative. We're going to take that energy and we're going to make it positive. And the way you make it positive is you say, what's causing the problem and let's solve it. And what's causing the problem is economic injustice and working men and working women being exploited and going backwards decade after decade after decade. And we've had enough, and we want fairness, and we want respect, and we want dignity. That's what starts with the minimum wage. Why? Because Franklin Delano Roosevelt, great governor of New York, lived in that house right down the block, became president of the United States. He passed the minimum wage law. And you know what he said? The minimum wage law should pay people a salary that allows a decent living. A decent living. Why? Because we respect the work that people do, whatever you do. We respect that you do it, and we give you dignity for doing it. And a decent lifestyle. Today the minimum wage in New York is $9 an hour. You know what? You can't live on $9 an hour and have a decent life. And that's why we want to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour, $30,000 a year, so people can afford a decent lifestyle in this state. Now, you're going to hear from the opponents, oh, we can't raise the minimum wage. Why? Well, that'll be bad for the economy. First of all, in this state, we have the downstate economy, we have the upstate economy. They're different. We've taken that into consideration in our plan. We have a phase-in plan for upstate New York. Second, there is no one who's more concerned about upstate New York than I am. I've invested more in upstate New York than any governor in the history of the state of New York, and I feel good about that. So that's not what is fueling the opponents. You know what's fueling the opponents? They're representing the corporations. And the corporations don't want to pay a higher wage. It is that simple. And I'll tell you the real taxpayer scam. Listen to this one. You work for minimum wage, a place like McDonald's. You make about $18,000 a year for McDonald's at minimum wage. In this state, $18,000, you're still below poverty. So, you can be a full-time worker at McDonald's and you still qualify for welfare benefits from the state of New York. Average welfare benefits for a full-time McDonald's worker, food stamps, welfare, etc., $7,000 a year we pay. So look what happens. McDonald's pays $18,000 to a worker. The state of New York pays $7,000 to that worker. That's how the worker gets by. Taxpayers of New York wind up subsidizing McDonald's workers all across this state. Why are we subsidizing private employees and corporations who don't want to pay a fair working wage?